Hey, Jonathan Tapp here. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to overcome fear in your parkour and freerunning training. Now, I'm sure you've experienced some of these frustrating fears before. I know I personally have, where we watch a tutorial, maybe over a backflip or a Kong vault. We get all psyched up and ready to do it. We go outside and we're like, you know what, today's the day. I'm going to get my Kong vault today. And so we go, we have it all planned out in our heads, and we run up to the ledge, and then we do nothing. Because all those frustrating fears just rush back into us, and it just freezes us and we can't even do the move. And sometimes this happens with moves you get down in the gym, or maybe you've gotten down before and then you lose it and these fears come back, and you may end up pushing the move to the side or never even trying it again at all. So in this video we're going to talk about how to actually overcome those fears. You know, is it even possible? And yes, it is. We're going to show you the simple method that we found out to overcome these fears. I think I'm a lot like you. When I first discovered parkour, saw these guys running up walls, jumping off buildings, performing Jackie Chan-like stunts with complete freedom and confidence, I wanted that. I wanted to run up 8-foot walls. I wanted to vault over rails. I wanted to fly through my environment. I wanted to, experience that complete freedom. I wanted to develop that strength and that confidence that they had. I wanted to, have full control over my body, and also want to impress a few people too. Just don't tell anyone about that. And I wanted cool friends to hang out with and train with. But when me and my brother first started, it was nothing like that. We didn't have any good places to train. We didn't have a gym to go to. There were no instructors or even friends that wanted to train with us. And one of the biggest things, the biggest hurdles, was fear. Me and my brother had no background in gymnastics, acrobatics, or martial arts, or anything like that, just regular sports. So all these movements were completely new, and we were afraid of a lot of them. I was even actually afraid just to train in front of people because I didn't want to get embarrassed. I was afraid of doing simple moves that, there's no risk of even injuring yourself that bad, but just doing the movement and failing brought a lot of fear. So this is one of the biggest hurdles that I had to overcome. There is some light at the end of the tunnel though, because me and my brother, after a few years of training, picking up different training methods from professional soccer coaches, gymnasts, acrobats, and some of the top freerunners from around the world, we're able to figure out a system for training, figure out a method for overcoming these frustrating fears that we all experience, and to excel very rapidly in parkour, to where we were started getting commercial work, started teaching people, getting interviews. We were able to do live shows, and even recently got to do the stunts for American Ninja Warrior and a bunch of other crazy stuff. So, if you're in the same spot that I was, maybe you have a lot of fear with some of these basic movements right now, don't worry, because me and my brother know exactly how it feels, and we know what it takes to overcome that. Now I'm going to leave you with my brother. He's going to show you the exact method that we discovered for overcoming fear. Okay, we're here on the green screen, and I'm going to be laying out the method and the system that we use to overcome fear. And the example I'm going to be using is one of the scariest moves in the parkour world, and especially for beginners, and that's the Kong vault. And what makes the Kong vault so scary is if you take a look here, during the Kong vault, you'll place your hands on a ledge, and you're carrying your feet in between your hands. And during this point is when you run the risk of clipping your feet, your knees, any part of your leg, and then basically going in from a swan dive into a face plant. And there are several reasons why this can be scary. First, just the embarrassment of doing a face plant like this, possibly people seeing you, friends, family, girls. Also, just the fact of getting injured when you do this. When you clip your feet or your shins or something on a ledge, it can be painful. And then, of course, falling on the ground in that awkward position, that swan dive position. Now, the method I'm going to show you is something my brother and I have been using for a long time, but we never really broke it down into a diagram or a simple system that you could follow until recently. We went to Colorado, hung out with some of the guys at Apex Movement, and what they did was something incredible. They took the methods that we had been using before, and they put it into a simple diagram, a simple system that is easy to follow. And this ingenious training system is called the training triangle. And it's broken down into 3 parts, each very important and essential for getting over fear or breaking down your fears, and then also exceeding with your parkour training. And it's broken down into the physical, technical, and mental. So let's take a closer look at each part of the training triangle, and I'm going to show you how to apply this with overcoming the fear of the Kong. First, the technical part of the training triangle. We need to know the technique of the move. If we don't know the technique of the Kong, then we should be afraid of it because we're probably going to mess up and we don't know what we're doing. Now, one of the big myths with the Kong vault is that we need to be extremely flexible to carry our legs through our hands like this. But this just isn't the case. Flexibility will help, but a lot of it has to do with placement of the hips. So we can break down the technique into about 3 main parts, or 3 main focus areas, and that's the arms, the hips, and the legs. The arms should be about shoulder width apart. That way you're stacking your joints, getting the most strength out of your arms, and you're going to hit with your palms. And then when you finish the Kong, you're going to be finishing off with your fingertips. This will help get you extra height and more power with your Kong. Now with the hips, like I said before, hips are very important. When we're doing the Kong, we want our hips to go up high, and the height of our hips will make it easier to carry our legs through our hands, or to carry our legs over the object. And then when you're going through the Kong, or you're clearing the ledge, you want to drive your hips forward so that way you can carry your legs over the object and land on your feet. Now the third area or part of the technique is the legs. When we're going into the run and we start our Kong, we're going to punch into it. Now we're going to start with this first just because it's easier, but eventually we'll progress into the split leg technique. The punch works like this. You're going to jog up to the ledge and you're going to spring off with both feet at the same time. And as you're going over, you're going to tuck your legs into your chest. This is going to help carry your hips up high and then also carry you forward to successfully clear the ledge with your Kong. Next is the physical part of the training triangle. We need to be physically capable of doing the Kong. So that means we need to have the strength, the flexibility, the mobility, and the coordination to be able to do it. Being strong physically is going to help a lot with getting over the fear of doing the Kong. For example, if you have the upper body strength and you're going for the Kong, you can, if you mess up, you misjudge, you can catch yourself and slowly lower down, or you can buy yourself some more time to make a decision. Other than if you don't have the strength, you're going to collapse on yourself or mess up. Another example is being flexible enough to carry your feet in between your hands. If you can just sit there and carry your feet in between your hands, the fear of clipping on the object goes away by a huge amount, because if you don't even do the proper technique or the right Kong motion, if you just tuck in your legs tight, then you'll clear the obstacle. So when you're physically strong, this is going to give you more confidence to go for new moves. This is why whenever I teach high-level athletes, some of them can pick up the Kong in one day or even on their first try. So here are some specific exercises you can do right now to improve your physical side. Tuck jumps, second variations of quadrupedal movement, push-ups, diving monkeys, carry your legs in between your hands. We're going to go back and forth. If you have trouble just carrying them through, you can stand on your fingertips, or you can just walk slowly through your hands. Tuck handstand burpees, donkey kicks, and fingertip raises in the girl push-up position. So now we're moving on to the last and final part, and that is the mental part of the training triangle. Different factors can affect our mental side, causing fear with the Kong. Several of these factors are the setting we are in, if we're in an uncomfortable setting, the people that are around us, if we have negative self-talk, being confident, and even our body language can play a role. So I can't cover all the mental factors in this video, but I'm going to give you a few of the best ones that you can implement right now to get over that fear. Number one, you want to train in a comfortable environment. So this is a place that has a good vibe, maybe doesn't have that many people or distractions. This is a place that is soft or a safe area. This can be a gym or a grass area. You don't want to be training at a place where your mind can't focus on the move. You have either distractions going on or a place you don't get a good vibe from. So this will help a lot with getting over that fear and really relaxing your body. Number 2, have positive body language. A lot of people don't realize this, but body language can play a huge factor in how you feel, how confident you are, and the way fear affects you. If you're walking around like this, timid, hunched over, not smiling, you're sad, you don't want to do this. What you want to do is you want your body language to reflect a guy who's going to take on the spot. You're going to own the Kong. You're going to be your own action hero in your own movie. You're never going to see an action hero down like this in any type of fearful situation, timid. He's always going to be confident. Chest is going to be out, chin up, taking on the world. This is the kind of body language you want to have while you're training. Also, smiling from occasion or laughing is perfectly fine. Actually, it helps a lot with the training if you're smiling, you're having a good time, because if you're doing parkour and you're not having a good time, then what's the point in doing it? It's all about having fun. So, have a good body language, smile and laugh, and just enjoy yourself. Number 3 is progression steps. And what's great about progression steps, it helps all of the sides of the triangle, not just the mental, but the physical and technical as well. And this will help you gradually progress with your Kong. And don't just use this with the Kong. While doing other moves, try to figure out progression steps that you can do for other moves as well. So the first progression step, we're going to take away that fear of flipping the ledge altogether by removing it. We're going to start off on the ground, just working on carrying our feet to our hands. We're going to use that same technique, arms shoulder width apart, joints stacked, and we're just going to carry our feet to our hands. Then we're going to increase the speed a little bit and really try to raise up our hips. Then we're going to move on to a comfortable ledge or a table. Picnic tables work good. Also, you can go to a gym and use soft mats. Another thing I've heard people use to practice their Kong, which is kind of cool and ingenious, is just the side of a couch. So, the arm of a couch is really soft. So if you clip on that, it's really not going to hurt. And if you mess up, you land on all these pads. I actually got that one from Ryan Ford. So find your comfortable ledge, and then we're going to work on the steps. First, you're going to just climb up 1 foot at a time. Then you're going to hop up with both feet carrying over to the side. Now notice the technique here. I'm leaning forward, raising my hips up, and carrying my feet over. Then once it gets comfortable, we're going to carry our hands up in between our hands. And then we're going to work on carrying our feet as far as possible past our hands. Once we get this, we're going to add some speed, take a couple steps back, and we're going to punch into the Kong. If it's not comfortable at first, you can move your legs over to the side, and then progressively move into your feet going through the center. Then we're going to add more speed and work on the Kong. And then if you're working on a picnic table, what you can do is lay down a piece of tape. What I'm using here is a rolled up shirt. Act like this area is the place you have the Kong and you have to clear it. So that way you can see if your feet go past that line or that cloth. Once that gets comfortable, then we're going to go for the all-out Kong. So using the same technique we talked about earlier, you're going to punch off the legs, reach out, hit with the palms, get our hips up, tuck our legs in, and carry hips through. As you get comfortable with the Kong vault, start working on different surfaces, poles, smaller ledges, bigger ledges, and so on. So that's the training triangle. Use this to get over those fears, not just with the Kong, but any other move you have a problem with. So I want you to go ahead and write this down, draw the triangle, mark it off mental, physical, and technical, and I want you to go through the move that you're having trouble with and figure out which, or if it's just one or more of these 3 things that you need to work on. And then break that down and start writing what you can do to solve the issue. So if you do these things and evaluate each side of the training triangle and attack the weaknesses that you have, then you'll find that the fears that you have with these movements will go away. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Start implementing that method and that diagram that my brother showed you, and you'll start to overcome these frustrating fears that we all get. This is the first video out of a series of videos that we're going to be putting out because we're about to launch a huge project It's going to be revolutionary for parkour. It's going to bring people from all around the world together to excel in this discipline. So I'm really excited. And if you want to get access to the next videos, go ahead and put your name and email below. That way we can send them directly to your email. And you're not going to miss this next video because it's going to have a really special guest. It's a guy who's really influenced my brother and I in our movement. And he's going to show you a really sick flow move that you can do on any simple leg. So again, put your name and email below. And if you like this video, go ahead and press the like button or add a comment and tell us what you thought about the video.